the book collections review stuff. So I was looking at the readables, and they were talking about book collecting, and that came from, and I wrote it down because I know I'd forget, Tiernan's booktubing blog on people's reactions to whenever they see your book collections. And I think I'm having sort of very similar responses to what I was reading in all the comments, where we're feeling like the amount of books we have doesn't feel like that much. But when people who come in who aren't readers are like, holy crap! And I think that is usually the typical response. And I have enough experience with this that I now just sort of pre-warn people. And I'm like, okay, just warning you, I have a lot of books in my house. And they're like, okay, whatever. And then they come in and they're like, yeah, you weren't really kidding on that one, were you? For my house, I actually decided I didn't need a dining room because I rarely have people over. I swear to God, I'm not a hermit. But if I entertain, I usually have them in the kitchen for like game night or what have you. And my house is sort of, it was built upon a log cabin, so the rooms are sized really weird. And what they had as the living room, I was like, this is, not the living room, what they had as the dining room, I was like, this is not going to function as a dining room. So I turned that into a library. And how I function with my house, the entire downstairs main level is all my nonfiction, so it's predominantly the art books or the history books. And the upstairs is all the fictions, and it's each room pretty much in my house. Even the kitchen, actually, because I have the cookbooks in there. I have books in pretty much every room except for the one bathroom. I think that could be a sign that I might be slightly obsessed. So how I have it is, the main library slash dining room bookcases are the ceramics, graphic design, and art histories. And then art history goes on the other wall through the next one and then into the living room, and then it ends with the techniques. When I first moved here, it was slightly more organized, and then I actually hopped away for a little bit and came back. And when I came back, I sort of lost the organization of that. So since I have some summertime, I think that's going to be on my list. The upstairs is all fiction. The ones that I usually talk behind are what I'm going to call either the, the collectory ones like these, or my drop caps. My Shakespeare's are on my left because I have a huge affinity towards Shakespeare. And all my Star Wars, because Star Wars and Shakespeare, it's two S's of our world, or my world at least. And I have some of the indispensables as well, because I always think they're really nice additions. The bedroom has, which is where I film the nice additions. I have another bedroom where it's the romance and the other science fiction. And then the third is what I'm going to call the shop. Unlike the readables, I actually do have one where it's a huge amassed pile of to-be-reads. And those are the ones, because when I read, I sort of have to pick up, let's say I finish a book, and then when I go on to the next, I have to feel like I want to read that book. So when I buy the book, I might be like, yeah, and then when the time I get to read it, I'm like, I don't feel like reading this one right now. So I just sort of browse my shelves and look at them and try to figure out which one I'm sort of in the mood for. So that is the third bedroom, and that's also my office. So if I finish something and I'm not quite sure what to read, I go in there and sort of meander. It's a 50-50 split in that room. Those bookcases are double layered, so the ones behind it are the ones I've read, and the ones that are on top or in the front are the ones that I haven't read. So it's a strange organization. I think I will probably piggyback all of this with a book tour, so it makes a little bit more sense. So the questions were, are you a book collector? Yeah, yep. I have a pretty big read and to-be-read pile, so I'd say it's, I was going to say 75, it's probably more like 80% read and 20% unread. But if I see a book, I will buy it and just know that I will at some point get to it. Especially with art books, I pretty much can't resist any of those. Sorry, I've got it in my mouth. I should have spit it out, but I don't feel like it. So if you hear the clicking. The art books I tend to buy and just keep all together because I use it more as a reference gallery. So I may need it for a paper or for a presentation. I just go down there because I can't digitally read things I have found. It just doesn't absorb, so I end up just buying as much as I can from these used book sales on art, because if I need it as a reference material, then I can just sort of go down and get it. Do I own multiple editions of a book? Yeah, oh, yes. This is, and I like your word for it's a luxury. I wish I felt that way. Mine feels like it's more of a necessity. There are certain books, and I'll call it my absolute favorites. The Blue Castle, Pride and Prejudice, Macbeth, some of the Star Wars. If I find covers that I don't have that I think are pretty gosh darn awesome, I buy them. I have at least a minimum of 14 Pride and Prejudices. Some hardbacks, some softbacks, some are the ones that I used when I actually read that one in high school, I think 10th grade, and we had to do our research papers on it, so it's all like post-it noted up, so it's a functional copy. Yeah, I have a couple of those. I have 4 or 5 of the Blue Castle. They don't have many editions of that one. And then some books, like the Shakespeare's, I'll buy some, but then some I also design it myself just to have. Usually as in-class examples, because I have a book publishing class, and we actually do print products through Lulu. So I end up usually picking a play for my demonstration, and then so I have a couple editions of Macbeth that way. But it's Macbeths that only exist because I created it, and they're all, you know, it's all in a private lockdown. So I don't know how that counts, but yes, I have many, many multiples, especially of my favorites. Or and I have a pet peeve, a bad pet peeve. I do not like dog-eared, rip-torn, crumpled, broken spine books. So if I have one like I bought used and I really liked it, and it's one of those copies, I usually give that one away and then buy a nice copy for myself. So that could be a problem, but I don't know. I see it almost as like an archiving. I like it to archive my aesthetics for design and what books that I like. What kind of book collection? Question 3. What kind of book collection do you want to have? I'm a little bit older, I think, than a lot of people here, so mine is pretty much rolling. I don't have much more wants. I would like to build up the graphic novels more. That would just be a bonus. If that doesn't happen, it doesn't worry. I think I'm just going to keep in the direction that I'm heading, the art books down, and then, you know, whatever fictions that I so desire upstairs. I never really got into manga. I read some, and it just really didn't float my boat, which is weird since I'm in design. I do like the graphic novels. I used to have a lot of comic books. Hello, retirement. But I don't foresee me buying any new, except I did buy the Humble Bundle. Do you do Humble Bundle? They had all the Doctor Who comics for download for your name your price minimum 15. I was like, so I did buy those, but again, I prefer to have mine in print format. So I say I'm pretty much established. I hadn't finished, and it was this set from Barnes & Noble of my Shakespeare's. I got 2, 4, 6 of the group, and I want to finish those up. That's probably going to have to wait until November, December, when I'm having a little bit of a life switch in a month or two, so I'm not really, I've put myself on a everything buying ban, so once September, October comes, I will fix that. So yeah, I'd say for me, I'm 36, going to be 37 in less than a month, so I'm pretty established with my collection. I do want to finish out the drop caps. I got to letter P, so there's not too many of those left to go. And I do like to collect a lot of the Penguin books, so I'd say I'm pretty much there. What I'd love to do, because I'm more, instead of like, what do I want to buy for a collection, I'm more like, how do I want to showcase said collection? So one of the things I'd like to do is actually, find a book storage system that actually works for me. And since my house is a little bit weird, since like I said, it was built before the Civil War, the ceilings aren't normal. They're pretty much, I can touch the ceilings. So I need to find someone to build me bookshelves everywhere. Like I have in my library is the only one that had that done. and that really worked great. The problem is once that's built, you know, it's not immovable, or it's not movable. The square ones from IKEA, I'm not really too thrilled with, because I don't like the square formatting for them. So I think for me, it's not so much what do I want for my collection, but it's how do I display. So I do want to fix the shelving a little bit more. But I thought this was a really cool tag, and I wanted to do my sort of contribution to it. And I think tomorrow when the sun is out, because it's not out right now, I will do a bookshelf tour so that you can sort of see where I'm coming from. I've been meaning to do one of those and just haven't. Time wasn't on my side this year. Alright guys, so what do you do for your collections? You know, do a response video, let me know, or let me know in the comments below, or on all that social media hoo-ha that I have in the doobly-doo. Alright, I'll see you next time. Bye.